computer. Yes, here we go. All right, so my name is Michael, and this is the second game session of my Hit the Streets, Defend the Block game of Street Level Superheroes, written by Rich Rogers of Gauntlet fame. We've got 5 players here: John, Shane, Bethany, Brandon, and Cerebel. And they are playing the operators of a local neighborhood sanctuary for superhumans, for wayward superhumans, or superhumans in need of shelter and protection, in the neighborhood of Riviera on the eastern shore of New Gauntlet City. They also, the sanctuary is operating kind of like next to or around a drug rehabilitation center known as the Anchor Street Sanctuary. And this, even though this is our second session, this is our debut live game session, since we were previously handling character creation and neighborhood creation and all that good stuff. So we're going to start by, I'm going to go ahead and ask everyone in turn to describe what their character would be doing on a typical midday during the week. So let's say early afternoon, just after lunch. And let's start with John, who is playing the character known as Bone Trucks. He is a contract physical therapist at the Anchor Street Sanctuary. And on this particular typical weekday afternoon, where would he be?
I think on a weekday afternoon, Griff Harris is at Sanctuary and has taken some of the residents outside. I picture Sanctuary as probably not being super affluent. They don't have their own nice gym equipment and such. So we've gone outside for physical therapy today. Working out, playing on some like open park equipment, doing stretches and some basic exercises out in the nice sea air.
Would it be possible that you may have taken people to Fisher Circle, which is one of the features of Riviera?
Yeah.
I don't believe we've established any other parks, but yes.
I like it.
And at some point, if anyone has any great ideas as to what is featured, like whose statue is featured at the center of Fisher Circle, feel free to chime in at any time.
I think Fisher Circle completely abuts on Fisher Park, which is an old city park that has seen better days. That blank area in between the two diagonal streets is
I see.
Is a park.
I like that idea.
And just as some color, what do y'all think of the idea that there is someone who their last name was Fisher, and there's like a statue of them that's in the park, but local kids like to graffiti fish onto Fisher statue.
I like that.
I do love that.
Griff may have done that himself in the past at some point.
Even in your adulthood.
Last week.
Yeah.
Including Griff, good to know. So you're there right now leading a physical therapy session. Excellent. How about Shane, could you tell us where your character, Starheart, is?
Yeah, so I think Ida would be at work early in the afternoon on a weekday. I imagine the sort of waiting room reception area at the Anchor Street Sanctuary is quite busy. So I sort of imagine her quite calmly and gracefully maintaining like 3 different conversations or processes at the same time. She's helping someone with their intake form, a new client. She's calming down some people who are getting a little worked up because they've been waiting for too long. And she's also catching up with a regular client and drop in and just sort of chatting about their lives.
Yes, it's
probably helping somebody with paperwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, for reimbursement, city reimbursement of services and things like that.
Hmm.
It is all very complicated. And of course, unfortunately, too many drug therapy centers, you're vastly overworked and underfunded. So
Yeah, that's
very,
definitely how I imagine it.
very good. Bethany, please tell us. Actually, I'm going to save you for last. Brandon, could you tell us what Ray is up to right now?
Ray is working with a client who has had traumatic memories from who is having some trauma. They're a street person and they were assaulted in an alleyway a little bit to the west of the clinic.
Was this a recent assault or something that happened a while ago?
No, this is something that happened 2 weeks ago, and they're still they don't feel safe sleeping anywhere because they got attacked when they were when they went to sleep down behind a dumpster in an alley, and she's I mean, and they they have a drug problem as well. I mean, obviously there's a reason why they're on the streets, and she's trying to talk them through some ways to help with the trauma, and it's not working very well. And you hear shouting from one of the exam rooms.
Is that shouting from your client right now, or someone else?
Yeah, no, they're yelling. I can't sleep anywhere. I can't sleep. If I sleep, they're going to come get me. They're gonna come and kick the shit out of me again. What the fuck are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
And she was trying to calm me down.
Got you. What is the name of the client?
His name is Cyrus.
Cyrus. Oh, so it's a he. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, got you. Okay. Yeah, very, very serious stuff. Thank you for updating us on that. Let's go next to Sarabelle and your character Cinder, your brand spanking new character. What is Cinder up to right now at this time?
So Cinder works shift work at a couple different places. So I think she is moving from one job to another. She has maybe 2 hours between shifts and has decided to take a break at the park just to get a sandwich and have a smoke before having to go into a gas station. She's wearing the bright red that is indicative, the bright red polo shirt that's indicative of whatever chain gas station.
Great red polo shirt. Clearly, she has a excellent fashion sense.
Pristine. But I think she's
So you don't work just. So you don't work just at. Oh, so if you were a cashier, does that mean you're not a cashier at the sanctuary? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think she volunteers at the sanctuary.
Oh, okay, I got you. So cashier at the gas station, you said, is that right?
Yeah.
At gas station.
She definitely has several shirts in her bag, for whatever she's doing that day.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no time to go home and change.
I got you.
Minimum wage is not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Gauntlet gas and stuff.
Thank you. Yes, Gauntlet gas and stuff. I'm writing that down. But for the moment, you're eating lunch, and would it be safe to assume that you're watching Bone Trucks run his physical therapy session?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Gauntlet gas and stuff. Or what was it again? Gas.
Yeah, gas and stuff.
and apostrophe and stuff. So
Charge by the letter for those signs. You don't want to pay for what we don't.
It definitely was like, it's an old legacy brand where, yeah, you did have to pay per letter. And now it's just the aesthetic.
right on. Bethany, could you let us know what Reggie Bird, aka Possum the Gadgeteer / Animal Shapeshifter, is up to?
I think he's at the dump. Like, he's just hauled a truckload of stuff there and is like trying to think of what they're usually. Actually, there are usually people just working at a dump, so like you can bring your own trash there, and they would like just tell you where to go usually. So he's stopped to like just shoot the shit with that person.
Okay. So is it safe to assume that today is not the day that you are doing your trash run of Riviera?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, and I assume that on other days of the week you're handling other neighborhoods and within the city.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's like different neighborhood each day of the week.
But for now, you're at the dump and shooting the
Yeah.
shit. Perhaps are you? Is there anything in particular you're looking to scavenge for? Any projects in mind?
No. I'm just kind of this person who doesn't yet have a name. Let me pull up the random name generator because I think they probably need a name.
Yes, please.
What nationality do I want? Let's say one that I can actually pronounce. Let's say Jamaican. Sure. This is Luther Midwinter.
That's a good
Who is
superhero.
sounds
Good
like a
comic book name.
superhero.
Yeah. And he's someone who works at the dump and right on. So you're chatting with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's all right, very good. Let's go back. Let's go back to Ray. So you're in your counseling, Cyrus, and he's very troubled. He's in particular he's talking about he's doubly distressed because not only was he attacked out of the blue by these people. Have you been able to, or even asked about who the perpetrators were? Have you addressed that at all?
He doesn't. He doesn't know who they were. They were a bunch of young guys. One of them had a blue jacket on. He's really vague. It happened at night. He's not necessarily the most descriptive guy in the world to start with. He was, and also he was sleeping off using, so, but they kicked the snot out of him and they took his stash and a bundle and a bag full of various kinds of scrap that he had found, deposit bottles and things like that he was going to redeem. He most of his personal possessions. And I can't. And I finally decided I can't help him by talking to him, and
Right.
I'm going to and I'm going to. I mean, we talked about it's as far as the perpetrators go. I told him that he should talk to the police, and he doesn't want to do that. He never wants to do that.
Yeah, in fact,
it's the first time this has happened.
And,
yes, and I'm. This has been a pretty crappy day altogether here, and I'm just gonna help him sleep. He's not good, because he's not going to be able to identify these guys anyway. So I'm just going to edit him a little bit. And yeah, these guys came and they took his stuff, but it was not as frightening. I'm going to see if I can dial down the anxiety on him.
All right, very good. So let's go ahead and create the first dice pool of the game. First, do that. We determine the mode and the stat that you're using. I think I'm going to follow your advisement, since you're planning on using your psionic powers to enter someone's mind. We'll go ahead and run this as a super mode activity.
And yeah, and it's using heart, really.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not trying to do anything other than allay his anxiety. So we just add them together.
That's right.
And then roll that.
Well, we're not quite done yet. Let's just go through the steps here.
Okay.
Ray, you've got your super mode. Okay, yeah, that's right. You're one of the super characters as well. So that's 3 dice right there. Your heart is another 3 dice, and that's one of the things that is interesting about this game. The fact that heart, compassion, is an actual attribute. I thought that was another neat distinction, especially for a superhero game. So there's that. Next, are you fulfilling your role as your role is, you're the peacemaker,
Yes.
right? I'd say you certainly are, since you're trying to bring peace to this poor person.
So what does
So
that
you
do?
can add 1 more die to that.
Okay.
And does this conflict involve any of your superpowers? It sure does. Since you're using your telepathy, you can add another 2 dice to there, which gives you a pretty hefty dice pool of 9. Did I count that correctly?
Yes, that's right.
Do you care to add any spark to give yourself additional dice to that?
No, not for something like this.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and that's quite a formidable dice pool. That's very nice. So go ahead and roll 9 dice, and again, you're looking for results of 4, 5, or 6 to count as successes. And I'll say the difficulty is going to be. This is going to be. Let's see. I'm going to say that this is going to be a. Since you're all you're trying to do is put the person. You're just trying to induce the person to sleep. Is that what's going on right now?
I'm just trying to help him so that he can sleep.
Okay.
So that he doesn't. I'm just trying to fog his memory of this incident, so that he's not worried that somebody's going to come attack him every time he goes to sleep.
Okay. So that you're hoping this will be a permanent effect.
Well, it'll at least help him forget this time. I don't know.
Okay. In that case, I'll go ahead and call this a typical difficulty event. You'll need 2 successes, and the more successes you get, the better off the effect will be.
Okay.
And this is also a normal. I'm going to rule this as a normal situation, so there's no real tension involved, which is also important to draw a distinction, because just to refresh everyone's knowledge of the rules, if you roll 1, any 1 indicates an oof, which means bad consequences for your character, but only in situations that invoke tension, and this is not one of them. Now I'm seeing here that you rolled quite well. I'm seeing 6.
Yeah, 6 successes.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say that you've actually you see as he's muttering about the police and how hostile, or he was probably recounting like the last instance that they harassed him, and that's why he never even considered going to the police. What does it look and feel like when Ray enters someone's mind? How does it look like from her perspective? What's it feel like?
What it feels like from Ray's perspective is it feels like people's brains are tied together with string. That they've just got all these things in there that are tied, that are strung together with like these thin, wispy lines, like monofilament.
Like a intricate web sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's a mess. Um, but if she concentrates hard, she can separate things, and you can pull on these things and to move things around, and there's some things in this case. There's the part of Cyrus's mind that makes him anxious is just too close to this memory, and so I'm going to these memories are too close to consciousness, so I'm gently pulling on these memories here and to pull them a little further away from his conscious mind. They're not gone. I could make them gone. I really don't like to do that.
Yeah, that certainly would have been a more arduous role. And as you said, as you had established, Ray does not like to tinker lightly.
So she does that, and he calms down, and she finishes up, and then she opens up she says, okay, I think we're done today, and she says, Star, I'm done for today. I'm sorry. Reschedule anybody else up. I'll try to pick them up tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, Ida. How do you react to that request? Is it typically easy to rearrange schedules like this?
No,
Given that,
I think it's an absolute nightmare. But I think Ida just sees herself as constantly managing the difficulties that the more senior staff here are creating for her. So she definitely just takes it in stride. And yes, of course, no problem. I'll just shuffle some people around. That'll be fine. You take care.
I don't really mean that. I'll be back in half an hour. I got to I just need a little break. I don't say to you, but you hear it in your head. I had to modify Cyrus so that he could sleep.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I assume I know that's quite distressing for you or difficult.
Yeah, I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
It's the most effective tool I have, and I don't like to use it.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I'll be back. Okay, don't cancel. I'll just be back in half an hour. I'm gonna go outside.
All right, take it easy. Just let me know if you need me to move anything else around.
Reggie, where are you? Where are you? Are you anywhere around?
she's not. He's not immediately around. But
I know that
he could just be.
I can't tell. That's why I'm asking. Are you at the dump?
Oh, that's right. You can just be. So you're sending.
I know everybody here. I don't have any problem talking to them, even if they're quite a distance. So
I see. Okay.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I won't bug you. I know that's your fun time. Anytime you want to come by, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's something.
No, it's nothing. It's not a big deal.
Okay. I'll all right. I'll take your word for that.
Cindy, smoking's not good for your skin. Did you know that?
Is Reggie a smoker?
No, I said Cindy, smoking's
Oh, I'm sorry.
not good. Cindy, smoking's not good for your skin. Did you know that?
It's got that message beamed into your head. So, well, does Cinder have a reply to Ray? And if you're saying something, you're currently muted.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Is it working now?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Beautiful. So I think it'd be really funny to see this kind of like the camera sees Bone Trucks and his group, looks past to Cindy just like smoking, and out of the blue says out loud but also in reply, a lot of things are bad for your skin. It's not really that big a deal.
You have nice skin.
If that had come from anyone but you, it'd be really weird.
And just out of curiosity, in general, how did people feel about Ray communicating telepathically? Does everyone take it in stride? Is everyone cool with it? I assume that everyone's at least cool with it, because I don't see Ray as being someone who would do that unwarranted or unwanted, I should say.
It's kind of like when someone always calls you and won't text you. Like it's not actively scary.
Annoying.
It's just kind of irritating. Because like you have to answer it right then. You can't like take your time.
Would Ray even be aware of that kind of consideration, Brandon?
If they're actively irritated, she can feel it. She's this, this isn't an email. Yeah, and so sometimes she'll go, sorry, maybe I'll catch you later or something. Everybody knows that Ray gets wound up sometimes and wants to talk, even if it's not always a good time to talk.
Yeah, I definitely think Bone Trucks in particular has like requested like, look, just use we use phones. This is an emergency thing. Do it if you have to. It's fine, but use the phone.
I hate the phone. It doesn't feel like anything.
Oh, I don't think Cinder minds all too much.
Okay.
I think she just likes people acknowledging her. So
I'm sorry. It's just I don't know what we're going to do with Cyrus because he can't get off the streets, and especially with those assholes who have been coming into the neighborhood of late. He's going to he's going to get attacked again. They're just gonna he's just a fucking target, and I can make him feel better right now, but I can't actually fix his problem, and that's why I'm wound up. Sorry.
No. I'm listening, and I'm trying to figure out what the best way to kick their asses and not get caught would be. Because, yeah, I agree, those guys are scum, and I don't want them around here anymore.
Why are they here? It's not like, it's not like Cyrus or some of the other homeless people around here have anything to steal. I mean, they got, a few dime bags, maybe, but not really worth the trouble of them gang up on some guy sleeping in the in the alleyway.
Yep. No.
So there's something else going on. Anyway, I'm gonna take a break and I don't know, watch the pigeons.
I'm gonna be out in the circle for probably another hour or so. If you want to come down off your high horse and have a smoke with me, I'm here.
Yes. Okay, I'll see you in a moment.
And you get to see Trucks try to like teach some kids how to skateboard. I don't fucking know.
You better not be trying that. You better not be trying that with the patients. They don't have nobody's got the balance for it. They're just going to hurt themselves.
Some of them got rhythm.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be like helping them with range of motion exercises and shit like that. Anyway, I'm not going to tell him what to do.
You know, I could be lying to you. You just have to come and find out.
I'm coming. I already said that.
I'll see you in like
save me a cigarette.
15. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't take that long to walk over there. And yeah, one thing I just occurs to me, I do still need to establish the scale for this map. And also, I just want to also remind you that the streets that you've all designated are just like the major streets, not necessarily all the streets.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of other crisscrossing streets around, but these are the big important ones. But in any event,
Ray has a bicycle.
Ah, right. They'll make it all the easier for you to get to Fisher Circle.
It's a piece of crap, but it's a bicycle.
Sure. Yeah, you go ahead and swing down Anchor Street, down to Commercial Road, and then you swing it right onto Believe Street and pass by where the apartment building where Starheart lives. You also pass by Club 80, everyone's favorite local watering hole, and then you get to Fisher Circle, statue of the man Fisher himself. Now, I'll assume it's a man because it's always a man, right? It's almost 99% of the time, it's always some dead white guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not. So this time it's not.
Yeah.
This is Jenna Fisher, one of the older persons.
Dead white woman. Spicy.
Yes. And while it is yet another dead white guy, he's most likely the only dead white guy covered with fish. Mm-hmm.
Covered with fish.
Okay, well, I proposed not a dead white guy, so.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, so I'm sorry. That was an actual suggestion.
Unless you think Jenna is a guy's name.
No, let's establish this. So Fisher, thank you. Sorry, I apologize. I was kind of talking over your contribution to the world building there.
Jenna Fisher.
Oh, that's a nice.
Yeah, she's an architect. She was the
no relation to The Office, to Pam from The Office. Architect. So did she design? Is she like a major architect of the design of New Gauntlet City or this neighborhood, or what do you envision?
She designed a couple of the fancy older buildings in this neighborhood, including that theater.
Oh, you mean the Velvet Cloak Inn?
Yes,
Nice.
that's what it is now. And the rundown hotel, I think we decided that there was one, although I'm not sure we placed it.
I believe that was the Velvet Cloak Inn.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. However, she is as illustrious as her background is. She is still covered in painted fish or spray can fish.
Yep.
So you're there, and Bone Treks is at this point probably just wrapping up a session. You also do see Cinder, killing time before her next shift at the register. She's still, she had been musing before about what could be done about those about the ne'er-do-wells who had assaulted Cyrus earlier, as she had thought at you earlier. And meanwhile, so you go ahead and you see her and approach, and do you still have what do you
Cigarette.
Yep. Hold on. Yep. It's like the second to last cigarette in the box and half of a bag of like Frito-Lays. Bunch of champions, and just like offers one up. Just pay me back for it at some point. I don't know.
And I think looking across at the park where Griff, since we're non-supers at the moment, where Griff is at with the patients, you do see him like they're wrapping up, and he's working with one of the longtime patients. I think they've made like good strides in their recovery. Her name's Nellie, and like she is attempting to do some light skateboarding. And he's all right. Here, step on here. All right, so this foot goes up here, and then you're gonna kick with this one. And this is obviously not his skateboard. This is like one of those like beginner trainer ones with the big wheel that are a lot more stable.
Do a flip.
But Grip shoots you this look. You're not helping.
I don't think you can do flips off of a fountain. But you need like a pipe or something.
Ray, how troubled is Ray still currently from working with the memories of Cyrus?
She's troubled. I mean, she's troubled in large part because every time she has, I mean, Cyrus's life is shit. And and she's just reminded how that how miserable his existence is, and how lucky she herself is, which is saying something, because of course she is crashing with Griff, doesn't have a place of her own, doesn't really own anything, and is just scraping by herself, but she's at least not homeless.
Okay, right, and it's readily apparent to Griff and Cinder. Cinder's real name is Sophia. Got to get used to that as well. That Ray's trouble, and I'm trying to remember if he had mentioned the source of those troubles that is working with Cyrus. I believe he had talked about that telepathically.
Cinder, at least.
Right. But it's readily apparent that Ray is still troubled.
Well, yeah.
I think if Cinder, like if Ray is prying, I think they can tell that Cinder's trying, like Sophia's trying really hard to make light of like whatever's going on, just like around them, to try to take some, like, to bring some levity to this shitty situation.
How would Ray take to that? Does she have much of a sense of humor?
Ergo, do a flip.
She does. And she'll let Sophia drag her out of her funk.
I think this is gonna get a little goofy, but it feels right. I think as like, wow, I also need to get used to people's names. As Griff is like trying to teach Nellie how to like, I think you're trying to do those like the Tic Tacs where you're like, you pull up on one set of wheels and you rotate the board just to kind of get used to the movement. I think that Sophia goes and grabs Ray's hand and starts to pull the two of them over. It's like, hey, do you have another one of those?
Just give you this incredulous look. You think you're ready for this? I mean, I've got more boards, but just, I don't know if you can keep up with Nellie over here.
Are you ready?
Oh, no, it's the board.
See me eat shit?
I'm going to be. Ray sends you a picture of Ray face planting. And he says, easier for you, it doesn't hurt you when you slam into the concrete.
Don't worry about it. Nellie's right there. It's like, I know I got a thick skull. It's fine.
Now, Bone Trucks, do you typically let other people handle Nellie?
Oh, sorry. No, Nellie
Nelly,
is
are you kidding?
I'm sorry.
Nellie is one of the patients.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Yes,
that was the
Nellie's
nickname
a
for the
patient.
skateboard. I'm sorry. I thought. Oh boy, that's
We
not
have
really
not
good.
named the board
Okay,
yet.
yes.
Oh boy.
First
okay.
off, we have not named the board. Second
Gotcha.
off, are you kidding?
Absolutely not.
That board is radioactive. Everybody knows that.
Well,
I mean, it's not really a radioactive.
that changes things
It's like you
distinctly.
don't touch it like it's radioactive. It's special.
No, I think I've got some like cheap boards that I carry. And so yeah, I'll pull a couple more out and kick them over to one to Cinder, one to Ray. And then I'll pull my own board out.
Like yours.
Y'all lap around the park? Think you
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna keep this in the human level, but I'll kick off for a lap around the park. Just some easy like street skating, nothing fancy, you know. Maybe an ollie here or there.
Not falling off, that would be good.
Yeah.
Here's a follow-up question. Are we the competitive sort to bet on this?
You tell us.
Is Trucks the competitive sort?
I would not bet with you.
He's super competitive, but he's using his.
In that it's not fair?
I'll tell you
Not
what.
fair.
I can't take your money, kid. But
Because I have
if you want
$20.
if you want to bet, here's what I'll tell you. I win, you wash the van. You
All
win.
right.
What do you tell me what you want?
We go out tonight. And there's an insinuation of like out patrolling.
Okay.
But we are still amongst like civilians. So
I see.
Nellie looks
Ray misapprehends the first time.
yeah. Nellie may or may not think that Sophia's asking him out. That's just a weird thing.
All right. You got to bet.
All right. So this is a straight up race.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we'll be rolling to see who gets the most successes. So let's go ahead and have all three of you build a dice pool, because I'm very curious how this works out. So first of all, we'll go ahead and I'm going to call this. We're going to place this in normal mode, until Bone Trex decides to spice things up a bit with his skateboard, in which case we can re-roll to reassess the situation. But I think this is going to be a feat thing. So take your mode dice and your feat dice.
So
I don't
we're
know if this is going to fit. Yes.
normal and with feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see this as being, I don't know if anyone's roles would fit this kind of situation. Let me just take a look. Let's see. We've got more people. Yeah, Breck PV Saker. Well, I'm going to make a case for the glue, since Cinder, you placed the stakes, including a mission, an outing in your sanctuary capacity, so it seems like, at least to some degree, your motivation is team building, because you're trying to get the team to do something. So I'll let you take an extra die for that.
Can I make an argument that this also plays into Wild One, a skateboard race with a bet?
This isn't very wild, though.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, if you can do that, but then this will turn this into a super situation, and would alter the race accordingly.
That's fair. And no, Griff isn't going to take this to that level, because we've got everyone around, and I want to give Sophia a chance.
Hey, if you want to go there, we can go there.
No, says Ray. No, thanks, Ray. Both of you, cut it out.
I will still allow Bone Trex to take the 2 dice for using. Well, like again, I guess if you do, and it sounds like you're not intending to kick in the super skate powers. in which case you will not add 2 dice for that. So let me know if that changes. And just for funsies, does anyone want to add some spark to the roll? How much do you want to win?
Okay, so
I'm
I'm like,
Oh, and in case I forgot to ask, Sarabelle, have you gotten a chance to read the rules at all? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, good. Again, that's spark you can use, and you can call on you can request scenes if your spark feels getting a little too low for comfort. But in the meantime, you're welcome to spend spark right now if anyone wants to. Does anyone want to?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend one.
Okay.
Me too.
Gotta protect my rep.
Okay, so Ray's spending a spark point. Griff is spending a spark point. Cinder, is Cinder spending any spark points?
sorry, I'm doing math.
Oh, sure.
I'm at 5 right now.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think
You didn't you start with you started with 6 plus a roll?
Oh, you know,
6.
the amount of spark. Are you talking about your dice pool or your spark number of spark?
I'm talking about my my dice pool for this.
Dice pool, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to make a weird argument for my powers
Oh, what
because
do you
I
intend to
realize
do?
no, Cinder wants to win
Mhm.
because she wants to go out patrolling and deal with these shitty assholes. Also to bring bone trucks down a peg or two.
Mhm. Do you think he's a little? Does he come off to you as being kind of pompous, or?
In the I'll be easy on you, in this particular
Yes.
realm.
I gotcha.
Normally, absolutely not. But at this point in time, right now, yeah.
So which power do you intend to apply here?
Object manipulation,
Oh, so you're going to be modifying the field of
softening the
battle.
ground around where his board is.
I see.
Essentially turning it into concrete quicksand.
Wow. Okay.
And there's
Oh,
there's a thing with the softness of the ground as and how it interacts with the hardness of skate wheels.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Which
it's
makes things
just adding the
weird and
friction,
difficult.
adding to friction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well. You can go ahead and
The-
take 2 extra dice to your roll.
And I'm good on that.
Yeah. So what's everyone's dice pools at right now for our great chase?
I have 4.
7.
Mm-hmm. And for bone trucks?
5.
Okay. Well, go ahead and roll your dice on the handy dandy roll chart, and we'll see.
Woohoo! I had 2 successes. I do not fall off on my butt.
So I see rolls for Ray. I see a roll for Cinder.
Yep. And I rolled. It's on the history table. So if you click on each row, it shows here's the dice that made up that roll.
I see. Oh, okay.
The result at a time.
Okay, so the
Cinder
15
got
results.
3.
I see. Okay, so which? Okay. I see.
Yeah, if you click down.
Oh, okay. So it's the. Okay, I see. It's it keeps the most recent row on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking at Ray's roll, yes, I do see. I'm seeing 2 successes for Ray.
That's
Am I
what I got.
Oh, okay. That's right. That's what you said. For Bone Trucks, I'm seeing 2 successes.
I think 2. Yep.
No, for Cinder, I'm seeing 3. All right. So, well, let me let's narrate this out here. Now, between the 2 successes, it looks like Bone Truck's roll is a little. You've got 6 and a 5 as opposed to Ray's 6 and 4. And since this is a normal situation, since I'm ruling that this is not a tension-filled scene, the 1s are not going to be a problem, because otherwise, if it were, then you would be losing 1 point of spark for each one you rolled. Cinder, on the other hand, you rolled. You got the most successes, even though you never rolled higher than a 4. But it is the maximum number.
I feel like it's probably a bit like the tortoise and the hare. I think Griff starts off really strong,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And kind of cocky, like you said, and then you soften that ground towards the end, and he's just like, what's going on? And then you just like, you know,
A bit of sticky pavement.
Yeah.
slowly roll by.
And do you just
Whereas Ray is
are-
just kind of going, just kind of push.
She's
right.
just having fun.
She's trying not to fall off. Didn't
And-
fall off. I win. She
And
said,
both, mhm, right? Yes, Ray is declaring the moral victory of the of the events. And Bone Trucks, when you notice that that Cinder is clearly using her abilities to her advantage, do you respond in kind, or do you just take that in stride?
There's like a glance after as she rolls. In the comic panel, right? You
Shot
see
where
her
they
roll
go
by.
past each other.
Yeah. And then I look down and I see like my wheels half submerged into the cement, and I'm just like, okay. But
she just made the asphalt soft. It's a warm day.
look, it's Sophia. What are you gonna do?
What?
Like,
I
all right,
didn't see anything.
you got me. We'll go out tonight.
I didn't see her do that. Whatever she did. That's Ray.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing. That's what I didn't. That's what I saw.
I've never done anything wrong in my life.
And at this point, I'm just like, all right. Well, that concludes outdoor recreation time. Everyone, let's get back in the van. Want juice? Anyone want juice? It's on me. And Ray,
Oh shit! I gotta get back to the clinic.
back to the center now.
Mhm.
Going back. Start. Sorry.
Yeah, so you wrap up, and everyone gets back to finish up whatever they need to finish up for their workday. I think this would be a good time to speed the clock up a bit. Everyone's resolved what the rest of their workdays, and move into the evening. Was Cinder scheduled to work through the evening?
I think till like 11-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that case, but when were you planning on taking Bone Trucks up on your victory outing? And will you be, I presume, would it be safe to presume you're including the entire group on this?
There is definitely a group chat.
Mm-hmm.
As in, Cinder makes Bone Trucks text the group chat because she does not have a phone.
Right.
Wait.
can't
Ray will again uselessly point out that you have a group chat anytime you want to by saying, I'd like a group chat, rather than making Bone Trucks text people for you.
But that's more fun.
I can't use emojis through your mind.
Yes.
Can you send
That's-
gifts into people's brains?
Can what?
Can you send gifts into people's brains?
I sent you the picture of me face planting. Yes.
Mental memes.
I mean, can I do it with pictures? I mean, if I'm looking right at it, yes.
The potential.
Yeah. However you want to. Does Cinder want to start looking for the assailants after a shift or the next day? What kind of time frame are you thinking?
This has happened
It's tonight, right?
Yeah. This has happened consistently like at night to Silas, right?
Yeah.
That's right. He was
stuff
sleeping
like
when
this.
it happened.
Stuff like this. I mean, it's always after midnight.
Yep.
No, I mean, because
Yeah, sincerely, yeah.
that's when crimes like this happen. I mean,
Yeah, undercover at night is a word, sure.
I mean, sometimes, if it's drunk people getting out of bars, it happens at like 11 o'clock. But
So I think meeting.
but property destruction typically happens late at night.
Yeah. Let's say by the docks.
Sure.
It's a good place to start, and we can maybe think that it might be dudes that come out of Club 80 late at night. that's like people get drunk and they want to exert. This is like conversation that happens like beforehand. Like people get drunk and try to like exert their power on people, and like dudes like us don't really pose much of a threat, or didn't then.
We can check Club 80, or maybe maybe people are, I don't know, they're targeting people. I mean, this is happening for a reason. Because I mean, if they were just wanted to steal stuff from Cyrus, they could have done it, but they kicked the hell out of him.
Yeah, they also could have just kicked the hell out of him because they felt like it. Like,
yeah,
that shit happens a lot, and
but they could do that during the daytime. I mean, he's not a tough guy.
I'm curious about what Ida and Reggie might think about.
I want Ida.
About the what they could do to investigate this. Assuming they're all on board with doing this, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ida quite likes patrolling. Like, she likes the neighborhood. She's pretty happy walking around after dark, maybe with a milkshake or something like that. Like, it's just a nice time for her. If they're able to help someone, it's a bonus, but she's pretty happy with the stroll.
Are you bringing milkshakes?
Well, I'm bringing a milkshake. I don't know that I can bring a round of milkshakes on my intern worker salary.
She has her beefy muscles.
One day we will have patrolling and milkshakes. We're making it a thing. It's going to be like a themed night.
I've definitely asked Reggie about this. Like, you've made you keep making these things for fighting crime. When are you going to have the like portable milkshake machine?
I mean, that's.
I want
kind of a lot to hold around.
I want to see a ray gun.
How about I just go through the drive-through?
Wait.
You can't drink a ray gun.
Can we make it a ray gun?
You need a gun.
Make one just for you. You can have one. Sure.
As a treat.
What would it do?
Well, what if it shoots milkshakes? That would also work.
I don't want to shoot milkshakes. That just makes a mess and it wastes the milkshake.
No, I can shoot it right into my mouth. It'll be perfect.
I don't think you'd actually like that. It's one of those things that sounds better than it is.
Maybe you're right.
It'd probably just be like really tasty drowning after the first second or so.
I love this conversation in the mental group chat. Like, this is how Cinder spends all of her like shitty, like almost late night shifts. Because there's nothing to do.
Sometimes when you're on a terrible night shift, Ray will let you watch TV. But she's watching something streaming on YouTube or something, and will just pass it on.
Interesting.
So that means you also have to watch all of the weird, like,
murder documentaries.
We watch some things you like and some things I like.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely like really bad, like Hallmark movies.
Oh.
Well, that's why YouTube. There's a lot of good stuff on
It's
YouTube.
the kind of stuff that like is consistently showing in like electronics store windows.
Ray likes some of the Hallmark movies.
Yeah. There's one in particular about this like hard charging supervillain. And then she moves from Gauntlet City to the countryside, finds a nice carpenter to like turn her away from her supervillain ways.
Yeah, and it's Christmas.
Yeah, they're always so upbeat. I kind of like that.
So there's been some discussion about walking around a patrol, perhaps investigating Club 80 as a possible staging ground for these attacks.
Or maybe people being attacked. Because there's been some property damage to it. I'm not talking about scrawling. There've been people broken, people breaking windows.
Okay, so you've heard that there's even more going on besides that. So Cyrus's attack is just the tip of the iceberg, as it were.
And right, and that old there was that fire in the old factory building that nobody's
No one works in. People
that
maybe
nobody's
lived
that's
in
been
it, but
that had a business in it, like manufacturing, that closed a couple of years ago, and there was a fire there. And weren't they saying that they thought it was suspicious?
So,
I mean,
so what do we know so far? Cyrus saw somebody in blue jackets. We think this is like a gang, the Blue Jacket Gang. Don't you be look on the lookout for anybody in a blue parka?
I believe Cyrus identified one person who was wearing a jacket, but was not able to identify anyone else. Does that sound right, Brandon?
yeah, and I didn't, I didn't look really, because I wasn't there to.
And you're primarily focused on easing the memories, not digging into them for extra clarity.
I can dig into memories, but
You can, yes.
Cyrus's memories make me really sad.
Yeah.
You say that as Ray?
Yeah.
So I think Griff is, or at this point, I'm probably transitioned to Bone Trucks. It's just for like, yeah, but this would be a hell of a lot easier, Ray, if you would just get a little bit in there. I mean, it'd be okay. But hey, I'm all for a night out on the town. So.
You're right. You're right. It's let's see what we can find out.
So what I'm hearing is that Ray wants to save the possible investigation into Cyrus's mind as a absolute last resort sort of thing.
Well, let me just. I'll start. As we're going around and people are getting out, I'll just scan people, be scanning people to see if anybody's got, I don't know, mayhem uppermost in their mind.
Ida just starts very, very concentratedly focusing on wholesome thoughts once Ray starts the general scanning mode.
Ray tried to stay off his radar or her radar. Does it now? There, Bone Trucks had raised the question about exactly what was the extent of suspicious crimes. Was there any thought about any possible investigation before you start hitting the streets, as it were?
Well, maybe Griff knows something.
So what we know is that there have been people that have been attacked, possibly by guys in blue jackets, which is like the worst gang sign ever, but and had we also talked about there being a fire at like an abandoned factory?
Yeah, it's part of a kind of a general
just kind of state of things as they are now.
At least that's what Ray was has knows for.
I mean, right.
Whether there's any connection, it remains to be seen. But there is more going on besides just one attack on Cyrus.
I mean, Riviera is not. I mean, Riviera's kind of broke, but things have been worse recently. I'm getting. I mean, Ida, isn't that right? People coming in, everybody's saying that.
I mean, people say that all the time.
Yeah. Now that Ray mentions that, do you want? As you ponder whether there may be some kind of like a notable pattern of worsening criminal activity, based on what you've observed as working intake at the facility, do you want to Yeah, you can try to try to, do you want to take some time to try to suss that out to see if there's anything you can think of that might indicate some kind of pattern or other illumination of what exactly is going on in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think Ida is like naturally inclined to think everything's fine, but maybe like, when Ray puts this to her, she does like take pause and really think about it. Is this something that I would build a dice pool around, or is it just
Yeah,
the
why don't you,
narrative?
yeah, why don't you let's have you build up a dice pool. I'll
Right.
call this. I'll set this as a normal mode activity, and for stat, I'm inclined to go with head, unless you want to
Yeah.
make a case for something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is head really. So that's 4 dice.
And your role again is you are
The
you are
brick, so
the brick.
it doesn't
Okay.
really seem to me that applies.
And I'm not seeing your powers applying either.
Yeah, no.
And do you care to add any spark to this attempt? Oh, and before you make that decision, I will say I think I'll just designate this as another standard difficulty thing where you would need a typical difficulty thing where you need at least 2 successes to figure anything out.
Yeah, I think I'll just add 1 spark to it. She's thinking pretty hard about it. She's going to push herself a little.
Okay.
All right, so that will be 5d6.
Yes.
All right, and then
Okay.
all right,
Click
2
on.
successes.
Oh, very good. So you've got just enough to figure out. Yes. What you would have noticed is that there would be, and since the sanctuary is at least the public front of it is a drug rehabilitation center, you would note that there is that a lot of people have come in for treatment. Part of the reason why it was even more hectic than usual is and this is something that you'd probably just realize on looking back, given what you've already heard about from Cyrus and what Ray's been talking about or thinking about. But you definitely noticed that a lot of people were coming in for treatment who were new. A lot of people who, and you kind of got a sense that that they had come there out of fear, like something like you've worked this long enough to know when someone is motivated, kind of like had a quote unquote a scare that kind of made them hit rock bottom and figure out that this is the time to do something about your situation. And you got that vibe off of all the new people who were coming in, all the people who were seeking treatment for the first time, and they all looked scared. And more than a few of them, in fact, almost all of them showed signs of physical injury, like bruises and whatnot. And you're starting to wonder if what happened to Cyrus, like I mentioned before, was just the tip of the iceberg, and that other people are, getting beat up amongst the people with drug addictions and are now seeking treatment.
Sure. I mean, I imagine as part of the intake process, I asked them about where they've been living or sleeping. So do I observe any patterns about, where these people are coming from?
Yeah, that's fair. You would be getting all that information as part of your normal process, and yeah, a lot of them were. Yeah, there's definitely a pattern of people with no established residences being amongst the subset I was talking about.
So I relay this to everyone over psychic group chat.
Yeah, it's always like a light comes on in your head, and you're like, yeah, Ray's definitely onto something. It's not just it wasn't just Cyrus that there's and that there's a different pattern for what's going on here.
Yeah, there's definitely a thought bubble.
So I think this is getting close to when we have agreed that we're going to be meeting at the docks. And Cinder is so convinced that this is being targeted at the homeless, that someone's trying to flush them out of the neighborhood somehow.
Oh, that could be it.
Yeah, no, because that warehouse, I used to squat there from time to time. It was a good place to hide out when it was raining.
Mm.
A lot of other people did. So maybe we should try to find other places, other places where there could be people that need help and people that can't protect themselves.
Mm.
Well, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of places here, but I mean, it's hard to protect them because they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, but there is something we could do.
What's that?
Well, if somebody's beating up homeless people, then maybe one or a couple of us should be homeless.
Again?
No, I mean not for real. Not for real. But like you crash for a little while to see if you can get targeted.
Like a decoy situation.
Yeah, because I mean, you and Star are hard to hurt, and even if they surprised you, they'd get a big surprise themselves, and then we could maybe grab hold of some of them and find out what's going on. I'm talking about somebody being bait.
What do people think of that plan?
Yeah, why not?
Because,
I mean, it sounds like a nice time.
Especially some of the, because I've also been noticing that there are more of those signs in the neighborhood than there used to be about hearings.
Oh, the rezoning hearings?
Yeah. And I don't really understand. I guess they're just something that they have to post if somebody's trying to get something rezoned. But I think somebody's are interested in this neighborhood. Not to help anybody here, but to tear parts of it down. Because that's what that's all about, right? It's about getting permission or sometimes even money from the city to bulldoze.
Yeah, like situations like, maybe like abandoned housing or like rough housing, and getting it redistributed so they can build as like commercial zones, that sort of thing. That's typically how those things work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and sometimes they've got to, they can't get permission unless they can show that it's a problem, right? Or or get a grant from the city if they can show that if it's I don't know. So they're trying to make things worse.
Yeah, like
and maybe at the same time, kicking out the squatters and such, so they don't. I don't really know how this works.
Just a bunch of fucking capitalists that want to come in, change our city.
Well, it's okay. I mean, if they actually wanted to build something,
I'm happy with it how it is.
But we don't. Anyway, that's my idea. Is that we bait that somebody or maybe two of you
If Cinder and Starheart
Cindy and
are
Star. Yeah.
up for getting all dressed up and hanging out in a warehouse somewhere, then I guess that's a place to start.
Dress down,
I-
more like.
Yeah, I imagine a beat where Starheart is like, well, I don't want to dress like a homeless person. And then there's just a pause as everyone kind of looks at how ratty and dirty and plain her clothes are anyway.
But you have nice hair.
Cinder,
That's true, Ray. You are an observant.
Yeah, that would be a
Cinder
giveaway.
in the red polo, just staring.
And Ray, Ray, of course, owns no piece of clothing that wasn't a donation. Because her entire wardrobe was a pair of scrubs.
So
Not all that long ago.
Cinder and Starheart are, biding their time, waiting to be attacked. What do the rest of us find?
Well, yeah. Before we jump into the action, I just wanted to confirm a few things and see if anyone else has any thoughts about the plan. And once we solidify the plan, I would like to take just another 5-minute break for bio break, and then we can come back and then wrap up and give ourselves a nice conclusion for our first issue. Here's one other question I think would be worth considering amongst the group. Are we talking about one decoy or possibly two?
Are we splitting the group?
Yeah, are you splitting the group basically is what I'm curious about.
I'm into Starheart and Cinder, like just setting up a little, cardboard shanty or something that we can hang out in together, if that is good for everyone.
I'm cool with it. It's more believable that we are actually homeless if there are two of us, because it's not safe to sleep by yourself. You have to sleep in shifts.
And if I'm recalling correctly, you're both young adult women.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly why only one of us super sus.
Yeah, so not to get bogged down in planning for too much, but I was going to suggest you've got Cinder and Starheart as decoys. Reggie perhaps is interested as being in doing an animal guys, and then Bone Trucks has his wheels and can move pretty quick.
I'll just be somewhere nearby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to actually be there to keep an eye on you.
Okay, so you'll be monitoring telepathically through everyone's through your telepresence, as it were.
Yeah, because I'll just be where I can. If it's someplace that I can kind of look on top of a roof or something, that would probably be the best.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. How about if I screen share the map, and I'll get that of Riviera, and let's see.
What's the plan on the Reggie front?
I don't know. Am I even here?
Oh yeah, everyone's here planning this out. So everyone, definitely everyone who has input into the plan.
It's a psychic group chat right now, so it doesn't even matter if I'm here. I can just turn into an animal and lurk around. That's pretty easy and pretty obvious. It's so obvious I almost don't want to do it.
Would Reggie be inclined to try to cobble together any kind of contraptions beforehand?
I have an idea.
Shockingly.
I have lots of ideas. They're not all good ones. Well, if we if we catch these guys or some of them, they're probably not going to be anybody important, right? They're just going to be some thugs.
Yeah, I guess that would be entirely up to your to Ray's thought processes, because it's hard to determine that right at this point.
Well, no, I'm just guessing But,
Okay, sure.
But if something that we could use to bug them, maybe, so that if if one of them, quote, gets away or something, then when he goes to talk to whoever it is who put him up to this, then we might learn something.
Okay, that's certainly a possibility. What does Reggie think about
or a tracker or something?
The prospects of
something
cobbling any gadgets together?
I mean, sure, why not? That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. The tracer idea or something else?
Whatever.
That's
yeah,
fine.
I mean,
Whatever you think is going to help.
yeah, sure, why not? Let's just do that.
All right. What do you?
I don't want to hold up things coming up with a better idea, so it sounds good.
Well, let's go ahead and first of all, just let me know exactly what you're trying to put together, and then we can let's look up the gadgetry rolls. I assume that's something you have to make a roll for to determine whether you actually pulled it off. It's dust off the gadgetry rolls and see how that works exactly. Learning new rules. Okay. When you use this power, describe what your cool new device looks like and give it a name. Blah blah blah. It just looks like, as far as I can tell, it looks like you just build it, and then you just determine when you put together your dice pool and you use it. Usually just gives you the extra +2 bonus like anything else. So yeah, why don't you just go ahead and describe what your cool new device looks like and what it does, and give it a cool name if you want.
I mean, this is it's almost like there's nothing supernatural about it at all. It's basically a tracking collar, but small, small enough to put like what's a good to put in like inside someone's shoe.
Yeah, as I'm thinking about how we use this power, how would you feel? And group, let me know what you think about this. If like anytime someone wants to use Possum, anytime Possum wants to whip up a gadget, I almost wonder the way the rules are written, and it might just work better naturally if we just assume whatever he wants and needs at a particular moment, within reason, that's just what you happen to have manufactured, and you can certainly just figure it out at the point, and then we can just assemble the dice pools normally. But rather than having to anticipate it, I think it might be more fun if you just assume that within reason you have what you have, and when it comes up, because it's like Batman always has exactly what he needs in any situation. I don't see any reason why Possum can't work the same way. Does that sound decent, Bethany?
Sure, that's kind of how I read that rule anyway. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you. Okay, I appreciate you giving me the time to catch up with that.
Oh, I mean, I could have been wrong.
No, you're right. Well, you're right now. In any event, even if you were wrong, you're right now. So yeah, let's plan on that. And one last thing before we take our 5-minute break, I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to excuse me, look at the map. And let's see, where here are we thinking as far as where our sting operation is going to be set up?
My thinking is anywhere that a lot of homeless people sleep, and maybe that's around kind of where the docks are.
So
the docks are.
So even just across the street, maybe not just across the street, but
Or I'd say even the southern part of Commercial Road where there aren't a lot of businesses.
Oh, I see. So like down to hereish,
Yeah.
close to
Where
where.
there, it probably is like a mini factory district where there's just a bunch of warehouses.
Mini factory district. Yeah, we haven't. That's easy enough to establish.
Yeah, I mean the docks area is warehouses too. Some of them are in use,
Yeah.
some of them not.
But you
Sure.
know
So
those
yeah, that
streets where you
area.
walk and there are no businesses, there's no residential areas. It's just like not connected to anything, just like places where bigger companies will just store shit.
Gotcha. Well, does that sound like a good plan to people?
Yeah.
All right. Then let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. I can get some water and soothe my throat because every time I run something, I always wear my voice out. And then let's see at X24, we can come back
24
together.
past, yeah.
Yep, we can come back together and wrap up our first issue of Riviera Hit the Streets.
All right. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you on just a little bit. And as soon as I wait. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Michael, FYI, you're still sharing your screen.
Okay.
Here, disrespectfully muted.
Okay.
How about disrespectfully muted?
No, it's I have I live right by Subway, like an above ground L. So it will go by every so often, and I'm just like, can anyone hear that? It's
Where?
very loud to me.
I have not yet heard that, so that's good
Okay.
news for you. First of all, I guess.
Great.
Where?
New York.
Ah,
Very nice. City?
Yep.
Very nice. Right on.
I have a thought, but I'm not going to make it because we are recording.
Oh, we can save it for the after game.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, after we do wrap up here, I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes thing, just so I can get a sense of how I'm doing so far running this thing, and then we can wrap up for tonight. So here we go. All right, so we are now. You are all now in the newly minted factory corner of Riviera Network, of neighborhood, I should say. And we've got Starheart and Cinder as our decoys. How have you done yourselves up, and how are you going to set yourselves up to be presumably easily noticeable and looking like easy prey?
Yeah, I imagine like in some sort of alleyway or street corner or something like that, maybe some cardboard laid out, which one of us is lying down on pretending to be asleep, and the other like maybe sitting up a bit more, but also pretending to have kind of nodded off. Is that kind of what you were imagining?
Yeah.
Here, I have a bag full of drug trash for you.
Right.
Okay.
Um,
Just as another tell that we might be fresher on the scene. I think Cinder was very explicitly don't try to hide your backpack or your bag, because she would use it as a pillow and tuck it into herself so people wouldn't steal it while she was sleeping.
Yeah.
But that's not a thing that you might think of, the first couple days, first week or two out.
Yeah, it's helpful to
Yeah,
have
that's right.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful to have someone in the know on how to look authentic. Yes, Cinder is. And where's everyone else situated? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask. Are you out? So you're out in the open, or where exactly do you envision Starheart and Cinder being?
I think out in the open.
Yeah,
So,
same.
so not within one of the factories, but just on the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, tucked into an alcove or something, but because they have to be visible. If we can't find you, then it's not much of a decoy. I'm just going to be top of a building, maybe.
How high Comedy Store is up to you envision Ray being?
These are just warehouses, so it's just a couple of stories.
We'll say 3 stories.
Yeah, it's a place with a ladder so I can get down if I have to.
How about possum? Are you in what animal are you in the form of?
I think a dog, and I'm just laying on the ground, kind of flapping my tail, looking very chill outside of their little shack.
Okay. And again, just let me know anytime you want to activate any of your whatever device you may have.
I have already handed them to Cinder, because I assume that they're probably going to do the beating, and therefore will have access to hide them on the people.
Okay.
All right. And I was assuming like super small, like maybe a large grain of rice, kind of like.
Sure.
In
Yeah, I
terms
was
of-
thinking like maybe like a pencil eraser, but grain of rice is even better.
I'm like, whatever you want, you can do it. Don't let your
No, I'm
dreams be
liking that.
dreams.
Now, are you
Really tiny.
Yeah. Now, are you planning on letting one of them go to trace them to where they go to?
I thought that was the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
And yeah, and maybe you can record a conversation if the little thing can do that.
I'm sure that'll be easy enough for Possum to swing.
That's the plan. Let's see if it works out.
And where will Bone Trucks be? Yes, where will Bone Trucks be?
I'm like up a block or so away. There's like a nice like 20-foot long rail coming down some stairs. So I'm just messing around.
Ah,
So, like
Yeah.
sort of, notice like, oh, get over there.
yeah, good vantage point for you to come into, pull out some sweet tricks and come into the scene blazing. All right, so it's now in the deep of night, and and at a certain point, like let's say around, let's call it, we're gonna call it 1:30 a.m. You see three young men just kind of casually strolling up. One of them, and they're all in, they're all wearing like some variety of blue coat, blue hoodie kind of situation. You've got one who almost looks like they're wearing a winter parka, with like the bushy, hood liner. Another one looks like they're wearing like a leather hoodie, outfit with a red t-shirt underneath. And then the third one looks like he's wearing like a interestingly fashionable blue coat, along with a red sweatshirt with a stylized red V in it, and looks like a seems to have kind of like almost along with like very like a expensive looking bright red sneakers, and like fingerless red gloves with notably not like Wolverine length nails, but almost like he's wearing like a press on nails sort of thing as like a fashion effect. That person seems to be of Hispanic background. The other two seem to be white, and they're kind of like walking around without a care, like they own the place. And they seem to spot our two decoys. And then this
Guide company.
Yes, Ray's the first to vocalize notice of these three, and thinks out appropriately. As soon as they seem to notice Cinder and Starheart, they stop, kind of like, you could tell they kind of shift from like, they're kind of like swaggery, kind of like, goofing around mode to stalking with a purpose, walking very stridently towards you. They've got a mission, and they're glowering in a way with like with some, probably smirking in a way that says that their intentions are
Definitely.
not at all good. What was that, Brandon?
They're definitely smirking.
Yes, they're definitely smirking.
Smirking their asses off.
Mm-hmm. They get
have kind of
yeah.
weird claw things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. That,
Ray
it is. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely kind of a curious effect. They get within 10 feet, and then they kind of like spread around to surround the kind of like to envelop the two of you between the three of them. Do you intend to let them? It looks like they're certainly approaching, getting ready for a sadistic to deliver a sadistic beating. Do you intend to let them have the first punch? How do you intend to let them approach?
Yeah, I probably, I don't want to accidentally pop off on some innocent person who's just out for a stroll at night, and I feel like we're both tough enough to take, a shot from some dudes. So, I mean, Cinder, what do you think?
I was going to let you take the lead. It's not like worse shit has happened. This is not the. But Cinder's going with whatever Starheart's comfortable with, which is beating the ever-loving crap out of these guys. If they get a swing in, they get one as a treat.
Okay. In that case, let's see. I think how we're going to operate this is I'll go ahead and have the two of you assemble a dice pool. The difficulty is going to be 4, so it's going to be harder than what we've done before because this is the first super dramatic scene. This is a tension scene, so ones will result in oofs, in spark draining oofs.
Oofs.
And let's start with this is definitely going to be a super event. And let's see. I'm going to go with, since this is going to be like just a pure strength sort of thing to endure the first strike, I'm going to go with hands unless someone else wants to make a case for a different attribute or for a different statistic applying to withstand the blows.
Sounds right.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely a brick helpful situation, so let's have Starheart have an extra die for that. And again, Cinder is the glue. I will say that does not apply.
No.
Using powers, I think both of you have powers that will assist in the situation, so you can both add 2 more to that.
So I don't think that I get to. I think that my powers work a little differently from the other people's.
Oh, right. It's just the straight up die roll.
Yeah, you get 6.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's not nothing. And then of adding spark, do either of you want to spend spark to
I'll throw a spark in there. Absolutely.
All right. How about?
I think I'm going to toss in 2 because.
You got him to spend.
Yeah, I do have him to spend.
Very good. In that case, go ahead and take your dice pools and let's generate some totals and see what happens. Again, you need 4 successes in order to still be in good fighting condition, and then ones will produce oofs.
Cool. Oops.
Okay.
Oh.
So you did Starheart generate 2 totals or?
Oh, sorry, did I? No, that's just my old roll.
Okay.
No, it was a previous roll.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. Look at Starheart here.
8 successes.
Oh yeah, you did quite well.
And,
there's one. I see 1 oof.
5, 6, 7, 8
That's my
successes.
I know I've got an oof as well.
Right, 8 successes and 1 oof.
Okay. So you withstand the initial brunt of the beating perfectly fine, except each of you do get banged up a little bit, and they're just like basically doing a simple bully stomping on you. So each of you can go ahead and take 1 spark off your total. And why don't you both let me know how your characters make their big revelations that these aren't just helpless civilians that are about to get picked on.
Yeah, so I think for me, like one of them takes a big swing at my jaw, and I just lie there immobile as he kind of clutches his hand that's broken against the side of my face, and then pop my eyes open and say, I don't know. I don't think I have my catchphrase ready yet, but this is where I drop it.
You were supposed to come in with catchphrases?
Oh,
No.
no one said there'd be catchphrases.
Shit.
I know that sounds like one of those highfalutin uptown superhero things.
Yeah. No,
I
mean,
have one thing and it's punch. Come on.
No, yes.
Cinder, how do you want to react?
I just imagine Star saying, "Help!" Because this guy is getting hurt so much worse that he's actually doing damage. Help!
Oh, so Cinder, do you transform yourself into stone or steel at this, like as soon as the blows start coming?
Just drop some on their head.
What you thinking?
So I think there's one that like tries to go in for like a really nasty kick, and her hand shoots out and clutches around his ankle, and as it does, her hand starts to turn to concrete as it's crushing it.
I see.
And just like pulls it out from under him and just like lands him on his back.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. First of all, the jaw does connect with Starheart, and it does bounce off relatively uselessly. His hand is not broken. In fact, you can tell right away that there feels to be at least some amount of supernormal vigor behind the punch. Meanwhile, Cinder has grabbed the offending foot of. Well, let me ask you: Winter Parka or Fingernails guy? Well, your pick.
Let's say Fancy Parka, because a blue parka with the fur is offensive.
Duly noted.
So
fashion crimes are the worst crimes.
Fashion police. You're under arrest.
So we're gonna say that you've grabbed the foot so that he's no longer kicking you, and and your hand shifts into, I'm sorry, was it concrete or steel?
Concrete.
Concrete, and then the parka guy immediately says, kind of reacts like. Not out of fear, but almost like out of glee, like they're like, oh shit, these two are Peebs. Peebs being powered beings, since the book comes up with the term superpowered beings for anyone's superpowers, SPBs, but this person at least is referring to it as Peebs. And then his face, like almost like explodes into like a purple. Kind of like a purple fire, and what you once looked like the face of like a smug, very smack-inducing dude, smackable, wanting to very punchable face, now becomes like almost like the silhouette of a skull, like a stylized skull situation. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and start screen sharing now because I've got pictures to share. There's this one here. That's the person whose foot you've grabbed. There is also going to be, let's see, stop sharing the screen.
Just a yell of, oh shit, he's going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, exactly. The one, let's see, I think the one who punched Starheart kind of like goes ow with with delight, and like in a big blur all of a sudden like slaps on like kind of an Iron Man looking mask, and I'm about to share what he looks like to you all. Now, just imagine that coat is blue instead of black. And 2 guesses as to what this person's superpowers are. So we'll stop sharing there. And then finally, the third person is going to be Fingernails.
Fingernails McGee.
Fingernails McGee. This is what this person looks like, who is not putting on a mask.
He's just an asshole.
He's just an asshole with red eyes.
I'm gonna bite him.
Yeah.
If you look close enough, could those be fangs? I actually don't know yet. We'll play to find out. Just for the sake of ease, I'm going. Yeah. Let's call it fangs. I'm going to go ahead and continue referring to these super dicks by their assumed code names.
Their code names. Which is
Yes, this is Vex.
Jerk.
As you can see.
Sorry, Vex.
AKA Super Jerk. The Speedster, what are we calling the Speedster? We're calling the Speedster Redline. And the burning face guy in the parka, he calls himself BSD, which is short for Burning Skull Dude. and at some point during the ensuing melee, it's going to happen. They all drop their code names, so it wouldn't take long for you to find out. I mean, Burning Skull Dude, that kind of says it all about what kind of person this is. Someone who would actually call himself Burning Skull Dude.
Zero imagination.
And want to and use his powers to beat up seemingly defenseless homeless people, right? So we've all announced ourselves. We've all announced our inclinations and intentions, at least amongst the 2 decoys. What's everyone else doing? How do you want to just? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Get in there.
Yes. He's given. I assume that was a message to Bone Trucks from.
Yeah.
From
I
Ray.
give him a quick visual.
Mm-hmm. You've got that visual.
And then the very audible shout of, "Oh shit, he's gone Super Saiyan."
Right.
I think Reggie had already said they were doing something, so I'm going to defer to them.
I said I was gonna bite the third guy.
Okay. Yeah. You'll.
Currently a dog. There's not much else I can do.
Sure. Sure. Excuse me. So the way we're gonna run this is now one of the really interesting things I've been wrapping my head around about how these rules work is that all conflicts are intended to be a roll one and done kind of situation, even the super fights. So basically, the way I envision this, we'll just come up with our dice pools for how the conflict in general would work out, and then we roll the dice, and if you succeed, then we just we count the oofs and kind of like just narrate it out fiction-wise. If you don't make the success, then the fight continues and presumably things escalate. So what I'll ask is just get a sense of what everyone's general approaches to the fight will be, and then you'll generate the appropriate dice pools, and then we'll roll out and see how things stand after the first set of resolutions, whether everyone succeeded, come up with the right number of POWs, which is what the game calls successes, the right number of POWs to take out each of these dicks. And if you don't, then we'll continue on. So what I'm hearing is that we first heard from Reggie, who's going to close in and attack in dog style. So for you, we're on super mode, so use your super dice. For you, it's tempting to have you use your mouth, your jaw, because you're literally biting. However, functionally, you're laying the smack down, so that would be a hands thing. You are not snooping in particular, unless you want to make a case for it, but it doesn't seem like that's what you're fulfilling here. You're definitely using your powers, so 2 dice for that. And before you make I just want to have everyone assemble their dice pools, and then by turn we'll generate. So you can hold. When we get back to you, you can let me know how much spark you want to spend, if any, and then we'll move on. Cinder, I take it you're just gonna. Do you have any particular approach that you want to take to the ensuing fight?
Can you actually, I guess, if we're talking D&D terms, drop me back in the initiative? Because I want to see what other people are doing before reacting.
Oh yeah, I just want to get a sense of what everyone's doing, and then I think we'll just handle initiative narratively what makes sense. So yeah, you definitely don't have to be the first to attack. So are you saying that you just want to wait and see what everyone else is doing first, and then
Yeah.
okay, sure, we'll come back to you then. How does Ray want to? What was Ray going to do during this fight?
The Ray does what she always does during a fight,
Hmm.
which is that she telegraphs.
Okay, so you're reading minds.
She mind reads these people, and it's like, this guy is about to do this, you know, you know, he's about to do this trick, or he's get ready to duck in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Ray doesn't have any offensive powers that she is willing to use,
Mhm.
but having a telepath on your side in a fight is extraordinarily useful.
Absolutely. So when we start resolving
Yeah.
things, I think you will resolve your action first. But first, let's find out how Bone Trucks plans to approach the fight.
I think in this circumstance, since knowing that our whole plan is like plant the thing and then get them to go away, I'm going to be mostly a nuisance / distraction, like zipping around, throwing some bunches here and there, waiting for the sign from Cinder. Okay, now push them out of here, or draw them away, whichever I have to do.
Okay. Right now, I'm hearing that. I'm thinking that you might be the second to resolve your action then. And finally, let's ask Shane what your approach will be.
I mean, Starheart's just going to whomp this dude. Just gonna
Okay.
beat him up.
All right. So Brandon, let's go through your dice pool to determine how well you are at reading the surface thoughts of these thugs, and see how well you're able to relay information that will be useful in the fight. Super mode. So use your super dice. This is this is a head thing I'm reading.
It's absolutely a thing.
And again, your role is the peacemaker. I'm going to say that's not what's going on here.
Not what's going on.
You'll definitely get +2 dice for using your powers. Do you care to use any spark?
Yeah. I'll throw in 2 spark.
Okay. Go ahead and make your total. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm sorry. The difficulty is going to be, since you're reading, you're just, I'm going to call it let's make it a 3.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to set everybody else up.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm doing a completely assisted role.
Okay.
And possibly picking interesting bits of information out of these guys' heads for later.
Yeah, however many extra successes you get will be could be
Okay.
easily applicable to that sort of
All
thing.
right. So that's 3. That's 3, 6, 8, 10.
Okay. So I'm seeing 3, 4, 5, 6 successes, and I see 1 oomph. So 6 successes. That's that +3. So you're able to read. You're definitely able to read the thoughts. You'll basically be able to relay exactly what everyone's doing, like just before they do it, to everyone else, and we can apply that to the fiction when we figure out what everyone else does during the fight. For those extra +3s, were you thinking of are you just trying to find out who these people are? If you have the wherewithal to siphon off additional information off their surface thoughts?
Well, if they let anything fly
Mhm.
about, we have to be sure and tell so-and-so about this, or, I'm really going to, I'm going to brag about this to the boss or anything like that if I get any names or pictures out of their heads.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you. Here's what else you find out.
Because they're not guarding right now, I'm guessing.
That's a fair assessment.
They seem to be gleefully waiting in. So
yeah, so you definitely notice that they don't seem to have any prepared mental defenses. One thing, we'll say Vex has the thought of, oh, this is going to be a lot more interesting than we beat up that old dude before, and you definitely get enough of a flash to indicate that they are in fact the people responsible for beating up Cyrus.
fuckers.
Yep. you're definitely getting a big vibe of kind of like a thrill sport vibe that these people are, this is their motivation is getting their jollies off. You also get enough of a vibe to notice that they're not locals. I mean, if Vex's expensive coat wasn't like hint enough of that, just the fact that you just get a general sense of freshness about their awareness of their surroundings to indicate that, yeah, they're not from around these parts. So that's what you're able to glean, as well as their combat moves.
The other possibility of learning anything is that I have clairvoyance. So so if there's so if I can read a label or anything like that, that's a possibility too.
Okay.
It's their moving target, so this is not easy. But,
gotcha.
And maybe that's not possible. But
okay. Yeah, I think that might be something.
No,
depending on the fight.
I'm much more concerned in having my friends win the fight.
Sure. Bone tricks. Let's get your dice pulled together and see how you fare and contribute to the fight. Super mode plus feet, since you seem to be. Yeah, you said you're dodging and weaving and kind of maybe exerting a kind of almost like some form of like movement control, like you're trying to keep them in a certain area until it's time for them to let them loose, as it were. If I'm reading that correctly.
Power for super movement.
Yes, you'll definitely apply the extra 2 dice for that. You've got the, whatever dice you get for super mode, whatever your feet dice are. You are the wild one. Since you're actually holding back a bit, I'm gonna not apply that extra die. You do get the 2 + 2 dice for for your superpowers. And would you like to add some spark to your roll?
Yeah, I'll add a spark.
Okay, 1 point, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay. And your goal is basically to keep them contained, like basically control their positioning where they stay until they're ready to be let go for tracing purposes. Am I getting that right?
Let's say it's to make an opening for Cinder.
Okay. So any extra successes will apply to that. I would normally, let's see, since you're doing control for the whole group, I would normally count that as a 5, but since you're already getting the telegraphed info from Ray, I'll take that down 1 to 4. So if you can get 4 successes, you will control their positioning the way you want, and any extras will go to help out Starheart. Is that right? Starheart or Cinder? I forget which one you said. Okay, thank you.
Cinder's got trackers.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm seeing 6 successes and 1 spark, one oomph. So you definitely are able to keep the 3 of them in the alleyway, and once the tracer gets placed, assuming it does successfully get placed, they will leave. Whoever you want to allow to depart will depart exactly via the path that you want them to. And because you got 6 successes, I said a difficulty of 4. When it's time for Cinder to do her thing, I'll just I don't know, maybe give you an extra 2 dice for that. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got that. I think next is going to be
Punch
the first.
crew.
Yes, the punch crew. Starting with the chomp crew. The chomp crew of 1. We've got Reggie the dog. Reggie the possum dog. You're in super mode, so we're starting with your super dice. Your stats going to be hands. I think we really went over this. And then +2 for the powers. Are you spending any spark?
Yes. Otherwise, I'd be really screwed. Okay, so like 1. 2.
Oh, and the difficulty. Let's see. Are you? Oh, first of all, who amongst them are you attacking? Just one of them, or more?
Just one. The third person who The
vampire.
fingernails guy.
Maybe a vampire.
Vex.
Yes,
Vex the
Vex, that's it.
vampire.
And I'm mostly trying to like just keep him off of Cinder and Starheart so they only have to deal with one person each at a time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like I don't actually expect to, I don't know, do any serious damage to him myself. Although that would be nice. Like,
Yeah, that'll all depend on how the dice roll.
yeah. Okay. So
I'm going to call that as a difficulty. Normally, it will be, I'm going to say 4, but since, again, with the telepathic help, we'll call it difficulty of 3.
okay, cool. So I have 6. Yeah, I'll spend 2 spark for that too. So that'll
Okay.
give me 8.
And it's we've hit the 3-hour mark. Hopefully, people can hear. I don't know if this shouldn't take more than just like a few, like 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at the most. Hopefully, that'll be okay.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Okay, here we go. So now
Oh wait,
you got.
you rolled d4s.
Hold on.
Ah.
Phew.
Reroll
That's a
them.
lot
It
of
was like
ones.
1 success and a ton of ones. Okay. Yeah.
that
That's
was a
slightly
good,
better.
Yeah,
catch.
if you roll d4s, you're not
Catch.
gonna.
Yeah, very good catch, Brandon.
That's much
That's
better.
much better.
Okay, so I'm seeing 5 successes. So you got
no moves.
No.
no oomph.
No.
Okay, so you weren't expecting to be able to do. So here's what happens.
Bite the heck out of them.
Yeah. So when you first you sink your paws into Vex, and then he reacts instinctively by trying to kind of like jab you with his fingertips, and you feel like what almost feels like a little bit like a bit of a power drain off that. Oh, actually, no. You know what? Let's say that he's actually trying to, but since he didn't actually get any, since you didn't roll any ones at all, you're somehow able to you're so scrappy and you're so mobile. He's like slashing at you, but you're always able to dodge. How does that sound like? Does that make sense for how this
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
part of the fight can resolve?
I'm not the target he's used to trying to fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to fight people.
Yeah. In fact, I could easily envision you kind of like shifting between different shapes, just to further confound him, to explain how he's not able to get.
No, I wouldn't. I would make him just beat by a dog. I got kicked by a dog.
That would be
well, I mean that.
The embarrassment factor would be fun.
that doesn't include them in as to how many superheroes there are.
Oh, that's true. Well,
I'm sorry. Oh,
they've
also
figured
doesn't
it out.
include them in as to how many superheroes there are.
Oh, okay.
How many?
Yeah, that's true. That's
A
true.
dog
well,
is
okay. That's a fair
a
point.
dog
is
is
kind
just
of
a dog. I'm
confusing.
just biting him. That's nothing. That doesn't seem very superpowered.
That is a good point. But yeah, let's just say that you're able to just with the vigor of your
It's two
attack, you're able to
girls
maybe not
very
maybe not
enthusiastic dog.
maybe not bring him to the the brink of death, but you're certainly able to get him into submission. He could be, for all you know, he could be afraid of dogs for all you know.
He is now.
Get his Achilles tendon.
Yeah, exactly. But you basically cornered him against the wall and you're like, that sort of thing. I think that resolution seems to make the most sense to me. So there is Possum the big dog. Next, let's go to Cinder's got the big.
It's a
big wallop going on.
possum dog.
Yeah. Let's see Starheart. You're taking on Redline, who does have super speed.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah, so I think when I hear his name, I'm just like, wait, you called yourself Redline? That is so mean. And then I just want to.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Double entendre, right? Good catch. Super mode dice plus plus hand dice because you're putting the beat down. You are fulfilling your role as the brick, and you're already using your power dice. That's already baked into the stat.
Yeah.
Would you like to spend any spark?
do I find out what the difficulty is before I decide about Spark? Or
You do.
how does
In
that
fact, I'll
work?
tell you right now. It's going to be the same. It would normally be. It would actually no. It would normally be a 5. When yeah no.
It'd normally be a 5, so hack
Yeah.
down
So-
1.
Yes. So that your difficulty
Goes
is going
from
to be at 4.
telepathy to a
The last
4.
one might have.
Nice.
I probably should have made the last one a 4 too, but that's okay. I was forgetting what I was setting as the default for taking on a single super baddie. But yep, 4 it is.
All right.
Would
so
you
I'm
like
gonna
to spend it?
one? Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to spend 1 Spark.
Let's Spark.
So that'll give me a dice pool of 9.
That's red line. Oh yeah, you've cleared it with
Yeah.
1 oomph. So he yeah. So you leap to your feet and
Okay. All right. So he thinks he's about to surprise you in 3, 2, 1.
yeah, exactly. Now he does like get some like super speed punches at you, hence the,
Right.
the loss of 1 oomph.
But he
But
fails
otherwise,
to get away at a critical moment.
that's right. Yeah, you're able to like. Well, actually, with the help, certainly with the help of Ray's mind reading, you're able to like. So it doesn't matter how fast you are; if they know where you're going, you can meet them at the pass, as it were, and you're able to like clock them that way. And let's conclude with we've got a counter to submission Vex, an unconscious red line. Now we've got Cinder and BSD, the blazing skull dude, burning skull dude. Excuse me. So your dice pool starts at your super dice.
Yep.
Plus your stat, which is also going to be hands. You are not particularly gluing things together. You are
Yeah.
using your powers in getting yourself into full concrete mode. So that's plus 2 dice. The difficulty again will be I'm going to make it it's going to be a 4, but you get to roll 2 extra dice thanks to the support that the support that Bone Trex gave you. He was taking extra special care to make sure that that BSD would stay exactly where he wanted him to be for you to beat the crap out of him. So if you take all those dice together, you're looking at a difficulty of 4. Would you like to spend any spark?
Hold on, because I'm gay and bad at math.
Oh,
I'm just trying to
no sweat.
follow. So 2 from the help, 3 from super, 1 for using hands, 2 for using my powers.
Yes.
Am I missing any?
I don't believe so. Did you include? Were you spending spark?
No, I'm saying before deciding on spark. So I'm at
Okay.
8 before spark.
Yes.
Difficulty is 5.
4.
4.
So odds are even that you'd make that. Would you like to throw in any more spark?
I'll spend a spark. And
Cool.
can I make an argument that since we have come up with this plan and we're all working together for me to be able to plant this tracker, that I am the glue?
Oh, I see. Because this is the whole point of the exercise.
Yeah.
I'll allow it for now. You might not be able to pull this off all the time, but certainly since you're a new team and the fact that this is the first time you've actually like really gotten like any kind of like risky plan together on the together like that, and it was your plan, and you are the person who motivated this in the first place. Take your extra die, please.
Yeah. So I think that I'm at 9.
I thought it counted 10, but
I'll go with 10. Please see, gay and bad at math.
These two things don't have anything to do with each other.
All right. 3, 4, 5 successes and 2 oofs.
okay. You've got all the oomphs you need. Let's see, how do we wrap up? How does the wrap up of this fight look? So yeah, basically he's BSD is he definitely get like a face full of purple flame, which accounts for the 2 spark loss. But you're able to, let's say that as he tries to get away to get some distance so he can like he can so that he could try to torch you at a distance, so you can't get your mitts on him. But Bontrex is keeping him from doing that with his sweet skateboard trickery, and that's why you're able to get to him. And
Like herding him in.
yes, well,
Like sheep?
yes. Now, is this the person you wanted to let go? That's right. Actually, with those results, you're trying to get the tracer on him. So
yeah,
with those, and especially since you succeeded with at least one more success than you needed.
he doesn't look like the person in charge, so I don't think he was like the best person
Who's
to
the
mark.
I can.
So I think that was it.
Yeah, well, it's possibly, but you are able to, yeah.
Of these three, who's the one in charge?
Yeah, if you want to make a last minute change, first of all, who do you think is the leader? Do you want to try to suss that out, or do you just want to like go with your gut? If you want to change your mind as to who you target with the tracer.
No. So my gut instinct was that Vex, fancy outfit fingernail guy, was the one in charge.
Makes sense.
But I do think, in terms of the story, it might be cool to see this utter shit of a person be the only person that we have like a lead on.
Can Ray tell?
If you want to make a total for it, yeah, we can go ahead and
just you should. We don't need to roll more dice. You just
But I think that
well, the difficulty might change because if you're trying to read all three of their minds simultaneously.
I just the one in charge is going to be even smugger than the other two.
But I think a good way of resolving those oops is that we end up not like tracking the person that we wanted to.
Well,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, but then that makes this a fail, and I don't.
Yeah, oops are really just applied to like the kind of wear and tear on you personally, as opposed to like the success of the group endeavor. I would say. So, if you if
I'll do it.
Yeah, let's say if you can. Let's see, they're all fighting and reading multiple minds. Yeah, let's call it a 4 difficulty. If you can get 4 successes, then you'll know which one of them is the leader. With certainty, as opposed to gut guessing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And let me know if you're spending any sparkages.
Yes. I got 6.
Okay. Yeah, it's you were able to confirm Cinder's suspicions that Vex is the amongst these three the person who seems to be the alpha, as it were. With the successes you had with Cinder would be able to kind of like do a last second fake out and plant the tracker onto the still cowed and scared of doggies Vex, and it'll be easy enough to just let him go, since he hasn't been physically hurt. And then you can feel it free to this like wallop to your heart's content on BSD.
Yep.
Does that sound like the way you want to tackle this, Cinder?
Yeah, let Vampire Boy go. He's the one who's going to go running back to mommy.
And we beat up on this dude as he deserves.
Yes, indeed. So that is done. Vex is thoroughly vexed and running off into the night street. And it'll be easy enough for Possum to track his goings at will, which I think we can follow up on at the beginning of the next issue of Riviera, Hit the Streets Riviera, and everyone can certainly be satisfied in that the hope that the attacks on the people without homes of Riviera, at least for now, will be unassaulted by these three dickholes. So job well done all around. And we can figure out what you're going to do with BSD and Redline at the beginning of the next session, or you can email it. We can email it out in the week between. I would like to go to the last part of awarding of experience points, the awarding experience to wrap up the session. So at the end of every issue, we discuss the following questions. Did you clash with someone who threatened your neighborhood? I say you certainly did. Did you protect the citizens of your neighborhood at least once? I'd say you certainly did. And did you defeat a villain or have a conflict with your rival team? I would say you certainly did. Does anyone want to say no? I see no one wants to say no to any of those. You all get 1 XP. Oh, for each yes, you get 1 XP. So 3 XPs.
Ooh.
And to continue, then I go around and pose the following questions to each player to answer for their character. Starting with Starheart. Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
I mean, it was kind of a difficult shift at work, but I wouldn't really say so, no.
Okay, that's fair enough. I will also remind you that you also had to negotiate a last-minute schedule change from Ray, and eventually talk her out of that, so that she was able to continue the rest of her day. If you want to if you don't consider that a proper struggle, that's fine. We can move on to the next question.
Ida doesn't consider that a struggle. That's just kind of her normal day to day.
That's exactly the kind of work ethic she has.
Right.
Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
I mean, I tried to support Ray a little bit when she was upset after the appointment this morning. I think I'd be inclined to say yes if other people agree.
Yep.
Okay, so take your extra XP for that. And barring anything else, so that's 4 total for this session for you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's move on to Reggie, Possum. Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
No.
Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
Like just during the fight.
Yeah, I guess that's the question, is like kind of an above and beyond sort of thing.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so you've got your 3. Bone Trucks. Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
Does losing to Cinder count as struggling?
Well,
For you it is.
No, that's called just desserts.
Yeah, since you actually, have you deliberately decided to not roll dice? Maybe, but otherwise.
No, I'm joking around.
Sure. Did you feel like you supported another teammate when they needed you?
Nothing above and beyond. No.
Okay. Ray, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. You certainly role played that out well. So, yep, you get a +1 for that. Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
And I don't think anybody else needed me.
Okay.
Yeah, the need was the other direction.
So you got 4. And finally, Cinder, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
No, not today.
And did you support another teammate when they needed you?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what in particular?
Making sure that Ray was okay afterwards.
Giving her a cigarette.
Oh, right, of course. Thank you for reminding me.
Cheering her up with the weirdest skate race.
Yeah.
Getting her to do a stupid thing like get on a skateboard.
That's right. That's right. That started out as an attempt to. And also, just for the record, if that kind of interplay would have counted as a bonding scene where you could have gotten extra spark from that, I didn't let you make that roll because you're already at maximum spark. But in the future, if you ever want to like replenish your spark, it's those kinds of scenes that would help you do that. And that's all in the rule book. So I think everyone's got their set number of experience points awarded for our issue here.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you can look up the rules for how to spend that. And that should be everything for this session. Does anyone else want to have any closing thoughts before we end recording?
No.
Okay, that is our first issue of Hit the Streets Riviera. Thank you to other players, Shane, Bethany, John, Brandon, and Sheila. Sheila? Sophia.
Sophia character, yes.
Oh, that's the character. I'm sorry. So,
Saravel person.
Saravel. Thank you. Thanks for playing. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly did. And we'll do this again next week. All right,
Thank
and
you.
recording session now.